you ever get déjà vu? Have you ever felt like the reality in which you live might just be a simulation that was created by an unknown entity? Well, if so, then you're not alone. Because just like you, in 2003, Nick Bostrom, a professor at Oxford University, proposed the simulation theory that suggests that everything we know, including reality itself, might be a simulation created by a higher being. Now, while some religions agree with that based on their faith, what is the science behind this? Join us as we discuss some of these mind-blowing theories that prove we're living in a simulation. For centuries, many out-of-the-box thinkers have questioned the nature of reality. They've come up with various theories, ranging from scientific to mystical, in an attempt to understand what reality truly is. But what exactly is the simulation theory? Simulation theory suggests that we might be living in a highly advanced computer program, controlled by something or someone beyond our understanding. According to this idea, humans may not be actual and tangible beings, but rather predetermined coded entities within the digital world we exist in, just like The Sims, but on a much, much larger scale. But that makes you think, if we're actually a part of a computer simulation, then who's the programmer? Does this mean humans are a part of some giant experiment by the aliens? Or is everything we ever believed in some make-believe reality? Swedish philosopher Nick Bostrom might have the answer to this. In his 2003 paper, he writes that future generations could have super-powerful computers capable of running detailed simulations of their ancestors. And he wasn't too far off with that assumption either. Advancements in AI have been crazy lately. Now, these simulations might include beings with artificial consciousness, and the idea behind this is that we could be the result of such a simulation, and we might not be the original human species. In fact, he further hypothesized that most minds like ours might not belong to the original human race, but could be simulations created by advanced descendants. Now, while it might sound a little over the top, it makes sense to consider that we are more likely to be simulated minds than the original biological ones. Some people might argue and bring up evolution as an example, and they wouldn't be wrong either. But other philosophers have further supported Bostrom's argument too. According to New York University philosophy professor David Chalmers, the higher being behind a hyper-realistic simulation could be like a programmer in the next universe up. This entity, which some might view as a god, might not be a traditional deity, but could even be a teenager casually running multiple universes on a computer. But having said that, how would a simulated reality even work? Well, there's a couple of ways it could play out. But let's go with two main scenarios first. By the way, if you want the universe wrapped around your finger, head over to the link in the description box to check out our stainless steel universe ring. Now, scenario number one. Everything we know is already simulated. The idea is that everything from people and objects to events and feelings is essentially computer code, all of it. For this to work, we'd need incredibly powerful hardware capable of simulating all these elements and the laws of physics on a vast, detailed scale that extends across galaxies. In simple terms, it's like thinking of reality as a complex, open-world program running on a supercomputer or quantum computer that is miles ahead of us in terms of everything. Although in the second scenario, there's a slight difference. Instead of everything being a simulation itself, only the world we know is simulated. In this version, humans are genuine and organic, but the world and some people around us are simulated. To make this work, we'd need to deceive our consciousness into believing we're in the real world, with lifelike sensations and simulated characters that convincingly act like humans. This scenario requires not only powerful computer hardware, but also sophisticated artificial intelligence that seems real to our minds. Kind of like the movie The Matrix. In the film, Keanu Reeves' character navigates his way through a post-apocalyptic world where machines have captured humanity and placed their minds in a simulated reality called the Matrix to extract energy. The people in the movie are unaware they're in a simulation, as a cable connected to their brain sends signals and reads their reactions, making them believe they are living regular lives. Now, there's a number of ways to make that happen. To create a realistic simulation, advanced technologies like virtual reality or brain-computer interfaces could be used. Virtual reality would show lifelike images, and BCIs could send signals to the brain for realistic sensory experiences such as sight. According to tech entrepreneur Rizwan Virk, the author of The Simulation Hypothesis, achieving realistic AI characters would require a deeper understanding of human consciousness. But he never said it was impossible, right? Let's circle back to Bostrom's paper for a second. He suggested that if humanity reaches a post-human state after surviving for thousands of years, with advanced technology aligned with physical laws, it's likely they could run simulations of their ancestors. But what does this mean? Did Bostrom hint at a simulation within a simulation? Did he crack the code before Christopher Nolan came up with Inception? Guess you'll have to watch this video until the end to find out. Now, Bostrom had an interesting theory regarding this post-human era. He said that machines running simulations could be stacked, creating multiple levels of reality. This means simulated machines could simulate other machines, leading to an increasing number of simulated realities over time. And before you wonder how that's even possible, let us remind you that cosmologist Paul Davies already has the answer. He explained that mathematicians have proven the possibility of a universal computing machine creating artificial worlds within worlds, forming a complex network of nested simulations. So while the possibility of a multiverse is definitely on the cards, there's a slight problem. According to an astronomer called Martin Rees, he believes that the real question is understanding the limits of computing power, so we can further understand just how many simulated realities are out there, if there are any at all. Because the fact is, considering advancements in processing power, there might be a future where computers will have enough power to generate simulated realities on such a larger scale. And even though we might not be there yet, tech entrepreneur Rizwan Virk believes we're on the way. Virk mentions 10 checkpoints on the path to complete simulation, noting that we're almost halfway to reaching that destination. But here's what no one's really talking about. It's the fact that simulating reality would require way too much computer power. Bostrom's concept of a post-human simulator would require immense computing power to monitor the detailed belief states in all human brains simultaneously. This would allow the simulator to predict and simulate observations before they occur, which means that in case of any issues, the director could just edit the brains of those who notice something's up or rerun the simulation to avoid any problems. Cool, right? It might sound something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but despite that, many people still wonder whether we'll ever achieve such powerful technology. In 2017, physicists Zohar Ringo and Dmitry Kovriji published an article addressing the technological challenges of simulation theory. They demonstrated that a classical computing method, quantum Monte Carlo, used for simulating quantum particles, couldn't simulate a quantum computer itself. This breakthrough raised doubts about the feasibility of building these advanced machines, and while some consider this a potential barrier, Ringel suggested that we may not fully understand the computing capabilities of whatever might be simulating us. So what are the consequences of proving that life is a simulation? Will we face some sort of exile for tampering with the great experiment? Philosophy professor Preston Green believes we might be living in a simulation currently. However, he thinks that attempting to prove this could be disastrous. If physicists conduct experiments to demonstrate our simulated existence and widely share the results, it could impact how our civilization behaves. Green believes that this could render our simulation ineffective for exploring the foundational level of reality, as experiments to prove simulation existence couldn't occur at that level or any level whatsoever. He emphasizes that the possibility of a simulation shutdown should be taken seriously, considering the track record of such simulations in science. Because believe it or not, even if it's just a bunch of ones and zeros, this simulation has an end. The possibility exists that our world and every moment of our past could be a series of simulated experiments created by future humans. Similar to how present-day researchers use simulations for scientific study, our hypothetical overlords could potentially end the simulation, just as scientists terminate simulations when they no longer provide useful data. According to Green, if this were to happen, it would be a quick and painless end. But why does the theory of living in a simulation matter? Well, if we are part of a complex video game with quests and achievements, knowing the nature of the game could enhance our chances of surviving and thriving. So the question is, what's the probability that we are, in fact, living in a simulation? Well, according to Nick Bostrom, there's a 1 in 3 chance that we're living in a simulation, while David Chalmers seems rather certain that there's at least a 25% chance at best. But what do you think? Is our reality a simulation after all? If so, then what's your glitch in this crazy matrix? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this. We'll see you in the next one.